A lot of performers are failing in their performing careers after they leave drama school, but why? Firstly, I think it's important to say that it is more expensive than ever to travel to London or to live in London or to travel to auditions, and that has to be a part of why people are taking themselves away from the performing industry. The expense of it is just massive. And I think as a performer, you think that training is going to be the most expensive thing that you have to put yourself through to finally get there. And then when you realise travel and auditioning all the time and not being able to work in a consistent job is really financially terrible. It's terrible. Not to mention, I think in this day and age, we're finding that being talented and being a great performer is just not enough. Coming out of drama school and having no industry contacts, agencies being full and overwhelmed by the amount of performers that there are, not being able to take new people on. So graduates coming out of schools without agents or agents that can't put them into the sort of rooms that they want to be in is also a difficulty that performers are facing when they graduate drama school. And finally, the biggest issue on that topic as well is that being a great performer and being great at your art isn't enough when there's somebody who's great and knows people and potentially has a social media following. We know that if you have a social media following and if people are going to want to come see you and you are going to bring people into a show, you are already at the upper hand of being able to get into a show, because it does boost ticket sales and we're all making money at the end of the day. This is a career, it is a job, we have to make money, we have to get people into the theatres. So when you put all of that on a new graduate, do people know you? Do you have a social media presence? Do you have the finances to get to London and back for auditions? So on. Do you have an agent? Have you managed to get into a top agent? What school have you been to? Does the school have a high success rate? There's so many things that sort of go together to see if you're actually going to be successful, especially in the early years of your career as a performer when you are just going into performer world. If you don't know people, if you don't have this presence, if people don't know your name, it becomes really difficult, because there are so many performers that do have a social media presence or do know and have contacts in the industry, and that gives them the upper hand whether we like to admit it or not. And so just because of finances and the people that you know in the industry and the ability that you actually have to get into the industry, I do think a lot of people are failing after drama school, and we don't have a system to push people forward that either do not have some sort of fame or some sort of following, or again know somebody who can get their foot in the door. And I think a lot of people are failing and struggling and losing out quite a lot, especially when they're going into audition rooms who paid hundreds of pounds to be there, and you're stood there for 20 seconds and then you get a no. And of course there's no help for performers, young performers that have just graduated mental health. They're out of university, they don't have that mental health support. All they have is themselves or their family or the people around them, and sometimes they don't really understand.